Regular season and postseason, they are over. So up next, it is award season. 5 Dodgers have been named finalists for the NL Silver Slugger Award, voted on by the managers and the coaches. You see the numbers of these guys. We feel like they're all deserving. Freddie, Teoscar, Shohei, Mookie, they've all won Silver Sluggers before. Will Smith has been a finalist before. Not only are these 5 finalists for individual honors, but the entire roster is up for NL Offensive Team of the Year, along with the D-backs. The winners will be announced next Tuesday. Shohei Ohtani is going to be adding a lot of hardware to his trophy case this month. Not the only other finalist for NLDH Silver Slugger. It was the Braves' Marcell Ozuna. But let's be honest, DV, when you have the first 50-50 season in history, you lead the league in homers, RBIs, OPS runs, total bases, not to mention second in stolen bases. Why wait till Tuesday, right?
We can never take this season for granted. It's one of the greatest seasons, if not the greatest season, by a designated hitter in the National or American League. 50-50 speaks for itself. Ohtani's first year in L.A. was better than expected.
I completely agree. And listen, when you have a guy who is an ace on the mound, make no mistake about it, he is an ace when healthy. And he comes over here, and we talked about it when we signed Shohei Ohtani. He's just starting to enter his prime as a hitter. And a lot of people kind of like, we'll see. Epic season. Over 300, 54 bombs, 130 RBIs as a majority leadoff hitter, and obviously the 59 stolen bases, 134 runs scored, setting the tone for this offense. Oh, by the way, he's a really good pitcher, too. So, again, he had an incredible season. His first season as a Dodger. Can't wait how many other years he's got? 9 more?
This might be the greatest offensive year he'll have the rest of his career, because if he continues to pitch, he's not going to steal 50 bases again.
He better not.
So, I mean, this
might not steal 5 next year if he's pitching.
You talk about unicorn. This was the unicorn season for the unicorn.
$700 million contract, the richest in team sports history, and somehow he was even better than everybody advertised. At the GM meetings yesterday, GM Brandon Gomes told reporters that he expects Mookie Betts to return to playing infield next season. We assume maybe it's going to be second base instead of shortstop. But, Jerry, your thoughts on Mookie moving back to the dirt?
I could say with almost certainty it's not going to be shortstop. Okay, he's not going back to shortstop. He came up as a second baseman. He was drafted as a second baseman. When he came up with the Red Sox, he moved to the outfield because of Dustin Pedroia. He prefers to be at second base, and I think he's going to be there. And unfortunately, if that's the case, the odd man out would be my boy Gavin Lux. But just that's the nature of the beast, man. This is the big leagues, and certain things happen. But right now, if that's what GM says going to happen, he's going to be the second baseman.
Yeah, he would not say that publicly if that's not the plan. But it makes me sad because I love watching Mookie Betts play right field.
Yeah.
He is the best right fielder, and some that used to see Willie Mays play said he's the best outfielder they have seen since Willie Mays. That's how good he is. And that's from guys that saw Willie Mays play. But, man, I love the idea of what they did 2 years ago, where they had Jason Hayward and they moved Mookie into second base to start Hayward. And then when there was a left-hander on the mound, Mookie would bounce back out to right field. But it feels like his future is at second base.
And who knows, because last year he went into the season as the starting shortstop. He didn't make it through spring training, or as the second baseman. He didn't make it through spring training. He's moved over to shortstop. So a lot of things can certainly happen.
Go look at his numbers when he's an infielder as opposed to an outfielder.
Yeah.
Okay. I think Mookie Betts, and I've told him this to his face, he works too hard, and I think he thinks about too much. When you're in the infield, you're worrying about a lot of different things. Sometimes in the outfield, you're daydreaming at times, thinking about your swing. When you're an infielder, you don't have that time to daydream at all, and he's a better hitter as an infielder.
I'm sure you're thinking about other things as well. But let's move on, because on Mookie Betts' podcast recently, Dave Roberts was asked about his offseason wish list. He didn't want to mention any names, DV, but he said a reliever who came up big in the World Series, a bullpen arm who's a high-leverage free agent, a guy with big homers in the postseason from a Latin American country, and a starting pitcher. So it sounds like he's all in on bringing Blake Trinan, Teoscar Hernandez back. But let's assume he's talking about maybe someone who's not on the Dodgers. Where do you think the Doc and the Dodgers go to fill out this wish list here this offseason?
So he was talking about a high-leverage free agent reliever. The only guy that I was looking at on this list is Tanner Scott.
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of sense. The Dodgers had some interest. Devin Williams from the Brewers is expected to be traded, but I find it hard to believe the Brewers are going to trade with the Dodgers.
How about starting pitcher?
That would be Snellzilla, of course.
Oh, Blake Snell?
Yeah.
I think they got a couple starting pitchers. I think if Blake Snell, I think that would be a fit. He's a left-handed pitcher. And if that kid in Japan is posted, which
Sasaki?
everybody's anticipating is going to be posted, he's coming here.
Well, especially if you're going to have a six-man rotation, you're going to need to have a lot of starters added to this roster before next season, given the injury issues that they've had. Still ahead from Freddie Freeman's Game 1 walk-off to Walker Buehler's Game 5 pose and everything in between. We'll have the best from the Fall Classic as the Dodgers are the World Series.
Thank you.
Have you got a Sasaki jersey yet? Because you probably should.
I probably should because he's going to be here as well. Yeah.
Really? Wait, hold on. I thought this was there's a few mechanisms that have to take place. Like
things do have to happen for this to go through.
What do they call that in Japan?
Posting.
Posting. Has he been posted
Not yet?
Yeah.
The issue is that he's under 25. So remember when Shohei was coming over here, he signed a minor league deal because he was under 25 years old. Roki Sasaki is 23 right now, I think. So he has to, if he wants to sign a major league, he can't sign a major league deal. He can only sign a minor league deal. So as long as his team posts him, which it seems like because he opted out of his whole contract with the Marines, he's probably going to come over.
And he wants to come here and pitch here.
This is the best league in the world.
He wants to come here.
Yeah,
so
it's like anything else. If you're a soccer player, you don't come to the MLS. You go overseas and play. If you go to the best league. This is the best baseball league.
So he wants to come here and pitch, and you're assuming he's going to be a Dodger because why?
I am not just assuming. I'm speculating based on some things that I have heard. The Dodgers have as much money as anybody else. They're not going to lose a guy like that because they won't pay for it.
Okay.
That's not going to be the obstacle.
The Yankees could outbid or at least bid with you.
They can bid with you.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to get – if they want it, they're not going to get outbid. The Dodgers are not going to get outbid.
And why wouldn't they be in the Sasaki business as well?
They might be.
Yeah, they probably will.
Pitching
too.
But here's where it gets interesting. Number one, I think this is – let me back up just a hair. The benefits of signing Shohei Ohtani, we don't even know what they are yet. That the ripples on the pond for him joining your team, we all know that the fact that he deferred this money, it freed up $700 million for them to go other places before they have to start chipping away at that. That's why Yamamoto's here. That's why Glasnow got a real nice deal. Yep. Whoever is next, whether it's Juan Soto or Roki Sasaki, they have the money to spend without having to say, oh, we can't, we're paying Shohei $70 million a year. That's off the table. Shohei Ohtani is the most famous athlete in Japan at the time.
Yeah.
The Dodgers are the most popular team in Japan. This is going to be generational where kids in Japan who love baseball, there's a lot of good players over there that want to play not just in the American major leagues, but want to play on the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I heard Friedman say they want to take advantage of that market
because
of what they're doing over there. Yes.
This has been something that they've been putting in place for a few years now. They've been following Sasaki for a long time. They've been
just
going
like
to his
they
games.
did with Ohtani.
Yes, they've been over there and scouting him for quite some time, have a great relationship
so
from what it seems like.
So it's the new Dominican.
Yes. Okay. That's a great way to put it. Absolutely.
Okay, so I did hear this. Tell me if this is true or false, that some Japanese players don't want to go to the same team that other Japanese players are on because they don't want to show them up.
I've not heard that.
I've never heard that either, but I'm sure it's a thing.
Here's what I know.
So you've already got two.
There have been teams with multiple Japanese players. You go back to Ichiro in Seattle, and the closer Sasaki was there as well. The Yankees have had, more than one Japanese player.
Yeah.
It's not.
I'm thinking,
Yamamoto and Ohtani are on the same team.
That's what I'm saying.
Now.
Yeah.
How do you stand out then, besides pitching well, I guess?
You pitch
if I'm
well
him, I might want to go a different direction.
I think he has something like a 76-mile-an-hour curveball and a 102-mile-an-hour fastball. Like his velocities are all over the place. It seems pretty crazy.
You said it a second ago, Greg, that this is somebody that they've been targeting for a very long time. The Dodgers have wanted Shohei Ohtani since he was in high school. The only reason they didn't get him originally is because the designated hitter didn't exist in the National League when he came over to the American Major League. Wow. That's it. Okay. That's the only reason he didn't start here is because there was no DH for him to do when he wasn't pitching. So he's going to have to play the outfield, which a whole bunch of other things going on there. So he chose an American League team instead. The second the National League had the designated hitter, that
it timed up and boom, he's a Dodger.
Boom, he's right back over here.
And also the Angels not making it to the playoffs
That
ever
didn't
while he was
hurt
there.
But
We don't have to say that.
they had Ohtani on their radar forever.
Yeah.
And they've wanted him forever. Same thing with this kid.
Yep.
Wow. Well,
And what they
that
want
doesn't seem fair. I
what
know
they
I'm
want,
happy. It's good for us, but
they
that
get.
doesn't seem fair.
So and
that
it also,
you keep getting the best players everywhere, anywhere, anytime you want.
Andrew Friedman is really good at his job.
I mean, sometimes
that's basically what it's working out to be.
Okay, and look, signing Shohei Ohtani.
I don't mind.
and
It's
having,
good for us.
Having that firepower of the wallet is a massive advantage. And anybody that tells you
It's
otherwise,
the advantage.
It's one of the advantages, and it might be the
What's
number
the
one.
other advantage to being a Dodger?
Tommy Edman was not $70 million a year.
No, but he's playing with $70 million.
Teoscar Hernandez was not a $70 million a year player.
But
Jack
besides the
Flaherty was
checkbook-
available to anybody that wanted to trade for him.
But besides the checkbook, what is the advantage to being a Dodger?
You get to play in a historic team.
Yep.
You get
Okay.
to play in a team that
Chicago, New York, all same thing.
The only other two teams that can go just legacy
Reds,
for legacy are the Yankees
Sox.
and maybe the Red Sox.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's also you have management, you have a structure in place with the Dodgers that is very, very good from top to bottom. Andrew Friedman and Mark Walter are in Shohei Ohtani's deal. If they go, he goes. That's a big part of this. The fact that if you
Here's the biggest part.
a good owner makes a big
Of course.
difference.
Yeah, I see that. Who's the most moribund team in baseball? The A's? Okay, so let's
So you're
give
not
them
going
the
there.
same checkbook the Dodgers have. They're not perennial division champs?
They
don't
play
think
in
so.
Sacramento
I don't
amongst
think so.
25,000 people.
Here's what the Dodgers have an advantage, and their money is a part of it, to be sure. I'm not saying it doesn't matter, because it does. But what they're good at is all of it, not
Identifying
just spending.
talent. Okay.
And what they've done, it's this. Let's play this game real quick. Are the New York Yankees guaranteed to make the playoffs next year?
I would say yes.
They didn't make
I
it
would
2
say
years
they're
ago.
likely to, but they're not guaranteed
With
to.
that payroll?
But so do
And the
leave.
players you already have?
No.
Yeah.
They didn't make the playoffs 2 years ago. It happens. It's baseball. Weird stuff happens all the time.
The Padres didn't make it 2 years ago.
The Padres didn't make it 2 years ago. The Baltimore Orioles hadn't made it in a million years. They made it 2 years in a row. The only team that I would be stunned if they missed the playoffs is the Dodgers. And that's what they can offer to all these guys. Not just a chance to win. We as close to a virtual guarantee that you're going to be in the tournament at the end of the year.
Okay.
They're the only ones that can
I feel
do
you.
that.
Okay, so what type of person are you, athlete? Would you rather join that or try to beat it?
It's a great question. It's a great question.
I want to beat that.
I'd
I don't
rather
want to be
join
a
it.
part.
I want to join it. I want the whole. I want to be a part of the bigger deal. The team that has the right structure in place, that is constantly bringing in new talent below or trading for talent to make us the best that we can possibly be.
So
That's
you're
the
Kevin
team I
Durant
want to be.
then.
Maybe. Maybe.
There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just messing with you. But yeah,
Kevin Durant was on one of the best teams ever.
Of course.
I
He made
would-
it one of the best.
I
yeah.
would like to go to a place where I get to play in the World Series.
Yep.
And this is as close to a guarantee as I can get that. And by the way, like if I don't want to use Teoscar
That
as an example
doesn't
because he's
seem
too good
fair
of a
at
player.
all. Yeah.
But if you're just some
Kike?
Joe Bag of Donuts?
no,
Empty chair.
I'm going to use a different sport as an example of this. Like, let's say you're Gary Payton, you're getting towards the end, and you're just trying to hunt one down,
Even
right?
Karl
You're
Malone.
kinda- You're
That
kind of like
situation.
Gary Payton's a Hall of Fame player, but he was no longer a Hall of Fame player, and you're trying to just grab one at the end. That's kind of weird to me. But if I'm Roki Sasaki or Yamamoto or Shohei Ohtani or any of these guys that is just entering the prime of my athletic career,
Yeah.
I'm going to be the reason this continues. I'm not
Of course.
just piggybacking.
Like
this.
Alabama with Nick Saban. They change, you keep winning, same thing. I get you. It's your under your watch they won again. But I want to fight that.
The only
I get that.
the only thing with Roki Sasaki is that he's going to be another player that is a every 6 day type of
They're
guy.
all that way,
but
Greg.
no, I totally agree with you. If there's a team in baseball currently set up to do that, it's this Dodgers team. The way with having both Shohei Ohtani coming back from his Tommy John surgery, having Yamamoto who needs to pitch on that 6th day, Roki Sasaki on that 6th day, Glasnow's always hurt, can use that extra day.
Yep.
All these other Dustin May is coming off an injury, Gonsolin coming. All the guys that they have are all coming off injuries. They can use that 6th
The extra day.
Yeah.
They're all the Dodgers. What happens every year? Everybody
hurt.
tries to copy the thing that just won, and I think that the Dodgers maybe didn't invent this, but they maybe did it better than anyone else. we're not going to have the traditional, here's our 5 starters, here's our 8 guys in the bullpen or 7 guys in the bullpen. We have 12 pitchers. And we're gonna deploy them as needed at any given time. Shohei Ohtani will start the game, and there'll be guys that do those sorts of things. But this idea of, well, you got to have this many guys, and you can't have a 6-guy rotation for this guy, but not for the. It's just today's your day to pitch. Get as many outs as you can. We'll hand it off to the next guy. I think that's going to become very typical in baseball.
That's all you need. Like if you need an extra day, no one's going to be like, nah, I don't want that extra day. Maybe Kershaw, but that's the thing. He now needs that.
What did he just do? He just restructured his deal, right?
He opted out. It's procedural. He's coming back.
He's coming back, but it frees up dough.
Yeah, his whole contract is just interesting. So he had a $10 million contract with a bunch of incentives. So there's probably going to be more.
This was literally rubber stamping it to put it over there.
So he's not
we can
losing money.
No,
it's just moving it. Okay. Yeah.
He's coming back. He's not going.
Good for him.
If he was going to leave, he would have left. He's not going anywhere.
Why would you leave? You get a chance at the World Series every year.
I'm with you.
Didn't you hear Stream Dodger for life?
この歴史的なシーズンを通して、ロサンゼルス・ドジャースがファンの皆さんと共に築き上げた感動と喜びを振り返ると、本当に胸が熱くなりますね。36年ぶりに掴んだワールドシリーズ優勝は、ただの勝利以上の意味を持ち、ドジャースの選手たちと街全体が長年待ち望んだ瞬間でした。この優勝に対するファンの反応は、まさに圧巻の一言、何十万人もの人々が街のパレードに集まり、ドジャースファンとしての誇りを示しました。スタジアムもたった15分で完売し、街全体がブルーと白に染まる光景は、ロサンゼルスのドジャース愛を物語っています。この勝利は、単なる勝利ではなく、過去の多くの試練や挑戦、成功と失敗が詰まった歴史の集大成と言えます。特に2020年のシーズンには、パンデミックによりファンとの直接的な祝賀ができなかったため、今回のパレードやラリーでの祝福は、選手たちにとっても一層特別なものとなりました。クレイトン・カーショーの涙が示すように、彼にとってこの勝利は夢の結実であり、彼がロサンゼルスのファンから受け取った愛情と支持は、今後のキャリアにとっても大きな励みとなることでしょう。また、ドジャースの監督であるデーブ・バツのリーダーシップも、この優勝に大きく貢献しました。彼は度重なる批判にも耐えながら、シーズンを通して見事な采配を見せ、最終的にチームを頂点へと導いたのです。この勝利は、ロバーツ監督のキャリアにおける輝かしい瞬間であり、彼の名が殿堂入りの候補に上がるのも当然の結果と言えるでしょう。ドジャースのフロントオフィスとの信頼関係も強固で、チームと監督が一丸となったこのシーズンは、ドジャースの歴史における重要なページとして刻まれました。このような成功の裏には、戦略的な選手の補強も大きな役割を果たしています。シーズン途中で加入したトミー・エイドマンやジャック・フラハティ、マイケル・コペックといった選手たちは、ポストシーズンにおいても重要な役割を果たしました。アンドリュー・フリードマンの手腕によって、これらの選手がチームのニーズに完璧にフィットし、ドジャースが真のチャンピオンとして輝くことができたのです。特にミー・エイドマンは攻撃面でも守備面でも大きな貢献を果たし、ファンの期待を超える活躍を見せました。また、この優勝はロサンゼルス全体に特別な意味をもたらしました。街中で行われたパレードでは、テオを再契約してと叫ぶファンの声が響き渡り、選手たちもその声援に感動していました。ファンと選手が一体となって喜びを分かち合う瞬間は、ドジャースが単なるスポーツチーム以上の存在であり、ロサンゼルスのコミュニティにとってかけがえのない存在であることを改めて実感させるものです。このような強い絆が、ドジャースが長年にわたって愛され続けてきた理由でしょう。そして、優勝を勝ち取った今、ドジャースはさらなる依頼に向けて 進化を続けています。例えば、次のシーズンでは、ムーキー・ベッツが再び内野に戻ることが予定されており、これにより、チームの戦略に新たな可能性が広がることが期待されています。さらに、翔平・大谷が加入し、打撃陣が一層強化されることで、来シーズンへの期待はさらに高まります。ドジャースは、これからも変革と成長を続け、ファンに新たな希望と楽しみを提供していくことでしょう。このシーズンを通じて、ドジャースが見せた素晴らしいプレーと感動を胸に、次なるシーズンに向けて新たな旅が始まります。ドジャースファンの皆さん、これからも共にチームを応援し、歴史を築いていきましょう。この喜びを胸に、次なるシーズンにも最高の瞬間を共有できることを楽しみにしています。もしの動画を楽しんでいただけたら、ぜひいいねとチャンネル登録をお願いします。そして皆さんの思い出や感想もコメント欄で教えてください。ドジャースの最新ニュースや MLB のハイライトをお届けするので、次のシーズンも一緒に盛り上がっていきましょう。